Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the brand new film set inside the MCU, and is the final time that we're going to see the Guardians of the Galaxy, or at least this lineup, like this team, like this version of the Guardians where it's Star-Lord and Gamora and Nebula and Drax and Rocket and Groot. This is it. This is the final time we have, this is the third film of the franchise. This is, you had like 4 other sub-chapters with the 2 Avengers, with Infinity War and Endgame. When you have, Thor Love and Thunder, you have the holiday special. And now you got this, which is the final chapter. The final chapter. So naturally there's a sense of curiosity. How is this going to be wrapped up? How all the loose ends going to be tied together? Who's going to die? Is anyone going to die? Is it going to be a happy-go-lucky type ending? James Gunn has been saying it's going to be a more emotional movie. This is going to be, you're going to have the laughs, you're going to have, the Guardians being the Guardians, but at the same time, there's going to be some dark, heavy stuff in this film. And you're like, okay, let's see how this goes. Let's see how, the CEO of DC Studios, finishes off the Guardians trilogy. And I just came back watching the movie, and here's the thing. I really enjoyed the Guardians films. And I really loved the first film. Second film, good. This one might be the best out of the trilogy because of those emotional beats. Because of, hey, I like a good comedy like everyone else. But, the thing with comedies is that sometimes you can kind of see the stick getting poked at you. Sometimes with comedies, you can see the face of the director saying, huh? That was funny, huh? You can kind of see that, right? While this one is able to find that balance. And, as I said, the Guardians films, I'm a fan of. I was looking forward to the holiday special and them showing up in the Avengers movies, and I was looking forward to Volume 3 and all that kind of stuff. But this one, because you got the heaviness of this movie, the balance between the humor just goes well with each other. And yes, I laughed, and the audience laughed out through the movie. And sometimes it is the most, silly of jokes. Sometimes it is, the simple quip. Maybe sometimes the laughter happens when you hear the first MCU F-bomb ever dropped in a movie. Yeah, literally. And we all are laughing at it because we're 12. We're all like, ooh, there's the MCU saying the first fuck. Yeah, we are kind of like, look how we're a little bit, the internet, we're a little bit like, ooh, a little bit. We're totally 12 when you hear the word fuck in a Marvel movie, because you just don't hear it. But this is really, it's been kind of said this is a Rocket movie. This is if there was a main character in this movie, it would be Rocket. This is Rocket's origin story. This is how we find out about where he came from, how he came to be. Was he always a talking raccoon? What's his drift? And it's just heart-wrenching. It is absolutely heart-wrenching. And, maybe when the movie started, because the beginning of the movie starts with Rocket as a wee lad, as a baby. And, maybe you're just like, oh, well, and, it takes you a bit to, just sell yourself into the movie. But when those scenes hit, it's just, even when I saw Ninja Turtle, I was like, a Masterless Ninja Turtle, I'm feeling the emotion, and it diving into the body horror of this movie. It is pushing. This is kind of showing that, hey, you know how we say, well, Marvel would never do this, 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 and 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 this. Well, they do it. There's a fuckload of body horror where I see a walrus in a wheelchair, a rabbit with spider legs. I see this, I see that, and I'm like, God damn. And then, like, the big, like, and this is a gory, bloody, like, you guys are like, hey, this kind of shows that Blade doesn't need to be MA or R. Because this movie shows it. There's a very gory, how the high hallucinatory meets his end. I'm like, yeah, you can do Blade M. You can make Blade PG-13. You can do it. Or 12 plus, whatever part of the world you are. You can do it. Because I was thinking, how do you do a vampire movie without any blood? I'm like, proves it. It proves it with this film. Now, the high hallucinatory, like, Guardians films ain't known to having the best villains, right? And, but is he the best villain? Yeah, because you got the Walker connection. Yes, you have all these things happening. And because of the emotional side of things. Now, I'm not mentioning the story because, oddly enough, it starts going into spoiler territory, like in the first, 10 minutes, the first 5 minutes of the movie. So I'm like a little bit like, can I mention the story? Can I do this? Can I do that? What can I say? But literally, High Hallucinatory is better than Ego and better than Warrior. Still not maybe the best MCU villain, but because of the connection he has with Rocket, you get a more wound up situation, and you just he's the type of villain that he doesn't really have. He's not that villain who sees himself as the good guy. He's not the type of villain who does this or does that. He's just a piece of shit, and that's what this character is. And sometimes you need villains like that, and he works in the story. The action is spot on. Adam Warlock, I will say this: if you're really looking forward to Adam Warlock, he's in the movie for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. He's not in there a lot. He has one big action sequence which you saw chunks here and there in the trailer, and he has a little flyby thing. But he just acts like literally he is the spoiled. He's the spoiled prince who's like, can I keep him, mother? Can I keep him? Oh, I will. Well, thank you. I always want a pet. Like, he's that type of character. And, he works, and Will Holter plays Adam Warlock in this version of Adam Warlock pretty well. That is suitable for the story. But, naturally, if you're really looking forward to Adam Warlock, yeah, you're going to get disappointed that he's not in the movie as much. The soundtrack is killer, as always. Oh, by the way, the one thing I would mention about Adam Warlock is if you're a bit curious of how James Gunn might do Superman, because he is dressing Superman Legacy, first time I have ever heard a CEO of a studio is directing their own movie. But that is the situation. But it's James Gunn. But, Adam Warlock flies and super speed and, you can have a rough idea of what, the action might be like, or how the flying sequences might be like, and all that. So, so that's, I'm like, oh, in my head when, Adam Warlock is flying, I'm like, Superman in my head. But, while Ursula enjoying the movie, I was how many times I was boiling. I was like, tears around my face. This is beautiful. This is sad. Why? I'm crying at a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I'm meant to be laughing with joy. Not quite. But here's the thing. I will say this. If you're not expecting the darkness, it might turn you off with the movie, because if you're like, it's Guardians of the Galaxy, I should have my quips. I meant to just have belly laughs and go laugh at the laugh at those moments with maybe a little bit of serious but not much of it. And here comes body horror, animal body horror. It might turn you off because you weren't expecting. I would say this is a movie I think you might want to watch twice, of the movie that you were thinking you were going to see, and now you see it as the movie that it is. And that, I think, will help you a little bit with Guardians, with this movie. But the inclusions there, I was surprised to see the such will return at the end of the credits, but, we got it. I felt like the second post-credit scene could the first post-credit scene could easily be the end of the movie, but decided to make that a post-credit scene. But it is interesting with Guardians, right? It is very interesting because back in 2012, they announced at the time, Phase 2 of the MCU. We had the films that were coming out after the first Avengers movie. And they announced Iron Man 3, and Thor 2, and Captain America and the Winter Soldier, which all the comic fans were like, we know what that means! Or Age of Ultron, they're like, we know what that means! And then Kevin Feige says, we're doing a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And everyone goes, sorry, who? Like, literally, who? The guys with the what? A talking raccoon. A tree. Okay, this is not going well. This has to be Marvel's first flop, right? Because you had to really know your Marvel comics. Like, the Guardians were not B-listers, not C-listers, not D-listers. They were like G-list, listers. You really needed to know your Marvel comics to know the Guardians of the Galaxy. And that type of thing. So, and it's quite interesting how that we don't know who they are. Who's going to care about this? A talking raccoon. How this is going to work? It's quite interesting to have that, and now it's we're at the third movie of the franchise, or the seventh appearance with these characters. It is a neat way. But yeah, do I recommend it? Totally. Is the MCU magic back? No, because it's one movie. Even though I really enjoyed, I really love Wakanda Forever. I really enjoyed Quantumania. For a lot of people, MCU has been not as what it was. One movie, I will say, is not enough. But if Secret Invasion is as great as we've been hearing, and if the Marvels is good, is another winner. Of course, there's going to be a group of people who are just going to bitch about, there's a movie about women. I got the one for the heels. There's going to be those people. It is a winner. Yeah, I think it's a good. That's when we'll be like, okay, Marvel's back. Actually, you know what? Blade would be a good one, knowing how much drama it has. Because they just hired the True Detective writer to rewrite the script, and they're about to shoot this, by the end of the month. Shoot the movie by the end of the month. So, that's when I'll be like, is this movie going to be good? Oh, and it's like, holy shit, it is. But anyway, if you've seen the movie, comment below tell me what you thought of Guardians 3. Do you thought it was a great inclusion of the Guardians franchise, and that, and you know, it's gonna be interesting seeing what James Gunn has in store for DC, knowing he is going to, yeah. Anyway,